really focusing on the subject of the photograph. And he thinks that people have tried to study photography in one of two ways. The first being very up close and like technical, looking at the technical aspect of photography, or from very far away, looking at like sociological trends. And he rejects both of those. And he says he wants to be primitive without culture and not look at sociological trends.
And he's not a photographer, just
right. He's a model though.
Yes.
And so he identifies three people: the operator, the spectum, and the spectator. And the operator is the photographer. The spectator is anyone who looks at the photo, and the spectum is the thing that is photographed.
You said you were sending us some handouts.
Yes,
right?
I will send this to you.
So it would be a lot to write down.
Yeah, it's a lot to write down. And he also talks about, he's not a photographer, but he has been photographed, and he talks about the experience of being photographed, and that when he knows there's a camera in front of him, he automatically starts to pose and turn himself into an image. And he says it changes the way that we look at ourselves. It is the advent of myself as other, a cunning disassociation of consciousness from identity. I'm not really sure what that means, but it's like looking at yourself, looking at yourself, looking at yourself.
It is, and it's also the notion of, like when you see, like the Sebastião Salgado did a whole book on children, because every time he would go shoot, children would come up and they like smile at him and they're like, take a picture of me like this. And that may not be who they are naturally, but that's how they wanted to be portrayed. And so that's what he's kind of getting at, is like as soon as the camera comes out and you're not like a famous model and you don't know how to pose in certain directions, you're going to become this other person that's not really the person that you are.
Yeah, and he talks about like trying to look like he knows he's being photographed, but also be coy about it, but he says like doesn't come off at all. He sees photography as the moment when he is neither subject nor object, but is changing from one to the other. And he calls this a microversion of death, which I think is like an extreme leap from that. I'm not really sure why that's death, but he
This whole article was around the association of his mother's death.
Okay.
He's just preoccupied with death at this point of his life.
And then he gets to the really crucial, I think, thing to take away from him is this idea of studium and punctum. And studium refers to a body of knowledge, like relating to culture, and then punctum refers to the element that breaks the studium. He says most photography is in the field of studium, so it's kind of, he calls it like, it's trying to like make photography agree with